So, so good evening, everyone. So, how's your day? Let us now proceed. The first topic is all about the K-12 basic education program framework, wherein it will focus more on the English and Filipino language. So, we will focus on Filipino since you are a Filipino major. Okay. So, this is the K-12 basic education program. Last week, I gave you a short introduction on the K to 12, but this time we will talk about current situation. Where are we now? So, asa na tayo ngayon after how many years of the implementation of the K to 12? So, we have the chronic underachievement of students, di ba? So, bakit nangyayari ito? Why it happened? Why there is because of the insufficient mastery of basic competencies due to congested curriculum. So mababa ang mastery ng mga estudyante pagdating sa learning competencies. High school graduates, 16 years old graduates lack basic competencies and maturity. Bakit nangyayari ito? Because of lack of competencies and maturation, the readiness of these learners to learn. Okay, other countries view with the 10-year education cycle as insufficient. So that is the main problem. Another is the Philippines is the only remaining country in Asia with a 10-year basic education program. Yan. So what we did, the Philippines, especially the officials, proposed the K-12 basic education program. Why? The history is the K-12 is not new. It's being implemented not only in the Philippines but all throughout the world. Studies have been made since 1925. So napakatagal na, no? Need to be more competitive. Yan. So if we are aiming that our school children to become competitive, also with as teachers that we must be globally competitive. Lack of political will, kulang ang kagustuhan ng mga nasa posisyon of this. So what are we going now is to study the different timeline. It started in Monroe Survey last 1925. 1949, it was by the UNESCO Mission Survey. It also signed the Education Act last 1953, Swanson Survey last 1960, then Presidential Commission to Survey Philippine Education last 1970. Also, in 1976, the Survey of Outcomes for Elementary Education, the SUTEL conducted po. Another is the Philippine Education for All, which was started the 2015 National Action Plan. So, nagsimula na noong 1990 yung EFA, that all children must be welcomed in the school. 1991, the Congressional Commission on Education report, meron. Then the Presidential Commission on Educational Reforms in the year 2000. Yan. So unti-unti nagkakaroon ng changes, nagkakaroon ng development. And in the year 2008, the Presidential Task Force on Education. Then the overall goal of this is we are aiming to have the functional literacy for all Filipinos. And that is also what we aim inside the classroom. If we are going to be asked kung ano yung goal natin sa loob ng klase, ito naman talaga, to develop a functional literate school children. Okay, so what's the DepEd vision? The DepEd's vision is state that it is globally recognized for the development of functionally literate and God-loving Filipinos who help to attain the national goals of social justice, take note, social justice, unity, freedom, and prosperity. So this vision is on, focus more on the human development. We are after of human development. What kind of development is that? Humanistic or um, ano po, full developmental ano po, approach, holistic, achieved through an enhanced curriculum. It may happen if there is an enhanced curriculum. That's why the K-12 is an example of an enhanced curriculum with socioeconomic relevance. Yan. Yan ang ating vision. What is the DepEd's mission? DepEd's mission is to provide quality basic education that is equitably accessible to all and lay the foundation for lifelong learning and self-actualization needed for effective citizenship at the local, national, and global milieu. So, what is the sub-goals for this? To give every learning an opportunity to receive quality education based on an enhanced and decongested curriculum that is internationally recognized and comparable. Okay, so yun na nga. Kaya nga po, na-aprobahan at na-propose ang K-12 curriculum because we wanted to provide quality basic education. So another sub-goal is to change public perception that high school education is just a preparation for college. Gustong alisin sa isip ng tao na ang high school daw ay ginagawa lang para sa preparation ng college. It's not. They are also allow one take advantage of opportunities to for gainful career or employment and his self-employment in a rapidly changing and increases globalized environment. The Department of Education wanted na ang makapagtapos ay ready na in the world of work. So what is the rationale of this program? Enhancing the quality of basic education in the Philippines is urgent and critical. So we wanted to have this kind of education. That is what we call quality, may kalidad. Okay? The poor quality of basic education is reflected in the low achievement scores of Filipino students. So, nung present ng Department of Education yung assessment, especially the PISA, ay mababa ang achievement ng country ng Philippines. Okay? So, the international test, ito yung sinasabi ko. Trends in international mathematics and science study, we rank 34% out of the 38 countries. So, masyadong kulelat. 43% out of the 46 countries. And in the grade 4, 23rd out of the 25 participating countries, second to the last, if you notice. So yan ano, napakababa ng ating performance. Ito yon, ito yung 2003 results and this is the 2008 results. Okay, so ito, second to the last tayo sa science, second to the last tayo sa math, second, pang ilan, 43rd in science, mathematics for the high school, and in 2008, eto, pang-sampo din tayo. So masyadong kulelat po ang ating bansa. So what are we going to do is the congested curriculum partly explain the present state of education. So yan ang meron tayo ngayon. This quality of basic education is reflected in inadequate preparation of high school graduates for the world of work or entrepreneurship or higher education. This is what I am saying, that the department is wanted to produce a student that is ready in the field of work, in the world of work. Okay? Further, most graduates are too young to enter the labor force, as we know that the legal age of an individual to work is starting from 18 years old, di ba? So, yun. Kaya, dinagdagan tayo ng 2 taon sa senior high school para kung halimbawa makapag-decide muna siyang maghanap ng trabaho, pwede na siya. Okay? Kasi nasa tamang edad na. The current system also reinforces that misperception that basic education is just a preparation for higher education. Ito yung tinatama na hindi totoo na mag-high school siya para to prepare for the college years, kundi in the future. So our graduates are not automatically recognized as professionals abroad. Nakakalungkot din po ito ng ganitong nakakalungkot din that we are 10 years in the basic education cycle. So as you notice, tayo lang ang nahuli noon, nagsimula na to sa ibang bansa, sa Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Singapore, Thailand, Timor, and Vietnam. So tayo lang po ang naging huli. So Mongolia recently added grades to make basic education to 12 years. So masyado tayong huli, pero okay lang naman yun. Naihabol naman. So this is the aptitude for college last 2006 to 2007. As you notice, meron tayong high aptitude for college. Okay, ay mababa. Meron tayong low aptitude o tingnan mo, ibig sabihin, mataas ang percentage ng aptitude, mababa ang percentage nito, malaki ang percentage sa law, mataas ang impact. Nakikigets? Ulitin ko. Mataas ang percentage, mababa ang performance. Okay, pwede yun. Kasi we are talking about aptitude. Okay? So, next is low aptitude for college. O, tingnan nyo nga uli, sa college din, low aptitude, it only means that we are not ready, ano, in the field of work. Ganun din po. Pero sa textbook, we're so happy because we have the high aptitude. Bakit? Because they are trained in the field of work. They are trained in the future that they must be ready in the field of work na yung sasalang kasi mas marami sa kanila yung internship program. Okay, so yan din. So aptitude for entrepreneurship, high aptitude, very good. Okay, then high aptitude sa entrep noong 2007 to 2008. So kung if you are going to study the unemployed versus available skilled jobs wherein ang ang no ang non-graded 650,000 available skills and based jobs. Kung 2009 ay masyado pa tayong mababa sa sunod na taon for the elementary undergrad, then for the graduate, then hanggang po sa dumating na siya sa unemployed high school graduate, no? Hindi pa sila makapagtrabaho, then hanggang makapag-college grad. So mataas ang percentage sa unemployed high school graduate. So there is what we call job skills mismatch. White collar versus blue collar jobs. Okay? The skilled workers, technicians, managers, and executives, then the college students, mababa din ang ano, mas mataas yung percentage ng mga estudyante. Bakit nagkakaroon ng job skills mismatch? Because we are considering our skills, we are not considering our interest in choosing for our career, in choosing for our course, di ba? So, nung orientation natin, nabanggit ko na marami pa rin sa atin ang nag-aaral dahil lang sa wala tayong choice, di ba? So, yun yun. Next, in the typical progression of the cohort, sir, ano po, from the Philippines, based on the cohort of the grade 1 to grades to the college level. So mataas mula sa grade 1 hanggang sa sila'y makarating sa college, lalong bumagsak ang cohort survival. Anong ibig sabihin? Na marami ang hindi nagtatapos ng kolehiyo. Okay? So more importantly, the short basic education program affects the human development of the Filipino children. So there is a big impact. So kanina, nadaanan ko yung sinabi ni Prof. Carlos na education is pivotal or very essential to one's country. No, napaka-importante. So dapat daw we must invest for teachers. Yan. Maganda ang kakasabi niya. Cognizant to this urgent and critical concern in line with the priorities, the Aquino administration, the Department of Education is taking bold steps to enhance the basic education curriculum. So yung K-12 nagsimula po sa kanya, no? Next. So the K-12 means kindergarten and the 12 years of elementary and secondary education. So benefits of enhanced basic education program, these are the benefits. The enhanced K-12 basic education program will be instrumental in achieving the nation's vision of high school graduates. The benefits of the K-12 proposal far outweigh the additional cost that will be incurred by both government and families. So malaki po ang tulong ng K-12 sa pag-achieve ng nation's vision, no? Na ang makikinabang din ito ay ang ating bansa. So to individuals and families, the importance of this, the enhanced curriculum will decongest academic workload, no? Magiging iba ang workload ng mga estudyante. So dahil kung ano yung na-offer sa previous years, hindi na i-offer, ipagpapatuloy na lang. Okay, next, what's the benefit? The graduates will possess competencies and skills relevant to the job market. Yan. Kasi yung i-offer ay yung mga makabago. Ang i-offer na magtutugma sa skills ay yung nasa setting natin ngayon, yung nasa trend. Another is graduates will be prepared for higher education. They are much ready for the higher education because of the added years in high school. Graduates could now be recognized abroad. No? Diba? Napakaganda. They can work abroad. For the society and the economy will experience accelerated growth in the long run. No? Maganda. The Philippine education system will be at par with international standards. So pwede tayo makipagsabayan sa kanila because we are also implementing what they are implementing in their country. Next, a better educated society provides a sound foundation for long-term socio-economic development. That is the main purpose. That's the main target. Ano? So why add 2 years? So we add two years to decongest and enhance the basic education curriculum para maging maganda at maayos. We add for better quality education. Kaya yung karamihan na nagsasabi na pangit ang may karagdag na taon, hindi po yun tama kasi the department is aiming to provide quality education. Next is, sabi ng President late Benigno Aquino, the late President Benigno Aquino III, we need to add 2 years to our basic education. Those who can afford pay up to 14 years of schooling before university, thus their children are getting into the best universities and the best job after graduation. I want at least 12 years our public school children to give them an even chance at succeeding. Napakaganda, no? Nang sinabi niya, ng kanyang reason. Okay, so K plus 6 years in the elementary, 4 years in the junior high school, 2 years in the senior high school. So batang K to 12, sabi nito, handa sa trabaho ko yung handa sa mundo. So what will each graduate get? In grade 6, they will get elementary diploma. In junior high school, their completion, and a diploma for the senior high school. So what's the proposed K to 12 curriculum? The proposed is the context. We will not discuss this anymore since we discussed this last meeting, last week, di ba? So, pero tingnan na lang natin yung ano po. So, ito yung pahapyaw nung nakaraang linggo. Okay. So, next is the philosophical and legal basis. Okay, na-discuss natin yan. The context is it started with a different Philippine laws and mandates. Okay, we discussed already this last week. Also, this one, we already discussed this. Okay, then the needs of the national and global community already. Yan, so that is, yan. Okay. So also we discussed this one, the curriculum support, society support, functionally literate and holistically development, administrative support, and the instructional support. So yan po. So becoming a whole person will start there. Ito tayo. Then we consist of the skills, attitude, and values. Dapat meron muna tayo nun. Then we will study the basic, the arts and humanities, languages. Yung Filipino major po kayo, dito yung papasok sa languages. So the next topic for this ay yung pag-aaralan natin yung Philippine competencies ng English and Filipino. But we will focus on the Filipino. Okay? So after that is the co-curricular activities. Then after that is the skills, the 21st century skills. The 21st century skills is very important, especially we are handling new generation or we are handling millennials. Okay. So yan, na-discuss po natin iyan nung nakaraang linggo. Okay. So yung pahapyaw natin. Let's proceed with the guiding principles and the features of the K-12 curriculum. The K-12 curriculum, we are after of the outcomes-based, standards-based, and competency-based. Yeah. Even in the college, we are implementing the outcomes-based education. Okay. So comprehensive systematic M&E, the monitoring and evaluation system. It must be learner-centered. It must be seamless. Yan, na-discuss din natin to. Developmentally appropriate, constructivist, and balanced assessment. Okay, so yung K-12 curriculum is inquiry-based. Yan, we wanted to develop their higher order thinking skills or what we call the critical thinking. The K-12 curriculum is flexible, no? Napakaganda. Another is integrative because we are integrating one subject to another subject. The K-12 curriculum is also inclusive. Yan, because we welcome all. Learn but meaty. Lean but meaty. Decongested and enriched. Yan ang K-12 curriculum. And last is value-laden. Yan. So the most important is the values that being learned by the learners. So these are the inclusion of the co-curricular activities and community involvement program. The core content is the communication and literacies. Yung kayo bilang isang Filipino major ay kabilang po kayo dito sa communication and literacies. Next is, even in Filipino, we can develop critical thinking and problem solving, especially sa pagtalakay ng ano po, pagtalakay ng ano ng kwento, pagbasa ng kwento, di ba? Okay, so another is creativity and innovation, even in Filipino, na nagiging silang malikhain sa paanong paraan. Natututo silang magsulat ng malikhain kwento, di ba? Okay, so next is the ethical, moral, and spiritual values. Okay, next to that is life and career competencies. Yan, because we wanted them to be prepared in the field of work, in the world of work, and developmental of self in sense of community, national and global orientedness, wherein they are able to adapt the yung ating sa pagiging global competitiveness. Okay. Another is the learning domains. We are ano po, of the knowledge and understanding, okay, which is very important. Then essential skills, then attitude and values. Anong ibig sabihin niya? It only means that the knowledge and understanding will be developed if we have the essential skills. After developing the knowledge and understanding through the essential skills, attitude and values will be developed to will be followed. Ano po? Susunod. So these are the pedagogical approaches in the K-12 program. Constructivist is letting them the learners the constructivist is letting the learners to construct their own meaning, to construct their own learning, and we have the inquiry-based, integrative, collaborative, and reflective. So these are the different approaches that we are going to use in the K-12 curriculum. Another is assessment. We are using the word assessment as learning, assessment for learning, assessment of learning. Balance of traditional and authentic assessment. So we are using this. Kailan natin gagamitin ang assessment as learning, assessment for learning, and assessment of learning? So monitoring and evaluation system, outcomes and standard-based, comprehensive, systematic, and valid monitoring and evaluation system sit in place aimed at improving the quality basic education. Okay? So another one is the proposed roadmap for the K-12 Philippine Basic Education Curriculum. Yan. So the curricular program, core learning area, these are the subjects, general academic program, wherein Filipino is included. Then sa English, sa grade 6, 7, hanggang po even in grade 11 and 12, merong advanced Filipino. So yung sa specialization, meron na din pong specialization. Nandyan po ang, ito yung specialization pagdating sa grade 8, 9, grade 9 and grade 10. Okay. And these are the key stage outcomes expected to our learners. Yan. So, these are the general academic program. Yan, core learning area for kinder, laktawan na natin. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. Focus tayo sa secondary. Ito na yung sa secondary. Okay, grade 7. Dahil Filipino, andyan yung Filipino. Meron din siya sa grade 8, meron din siya sa grade 9, meron din sa grade 10, meron sa grade 11, and grade 12. Okay, so hindi siya nawawala. So exploratory stage career or paths, we have the special programs in yung Filipino pwedeng pumasok dito sa journalism at dito din sa mother tongue and foreign languages. Okay, so iba pala yung Filipino. It's a, other ay pwede naman yung mother tongue sa Filipino sa paanong paraan if the child grows in Manila. So his or her mother tongue is Filipino. Okay. So alignment of curriculum to the business and industry needs key employment drivers for 2011 to 2020. So there are industry prospects. The growth of Philippine economy will be driven by saan magsisimula, high value foreign direct investment, which is led to agribusiness, infrastructure, tourism, medical tourism, retirement estates, yan, pwedeng magamit din yan. There is the BPOs, which is a call center, investment in ICT, real estate, shipbuilding, long-term demand for OFWs. So these are the key employment generators. We have agribusiness, cyber services, health and wellness, hotel, restaurant and tourism, mining, construction, manufacturing, ownership dwellings, transport, wholesale, and overseas employment. Okay, so these are the emerging industries. Renewable energy, power and utilities, diversing farming and fishing, creative industries. Yan. So these are the key outcomes. Sa elementary, ito po. Sa secondary na po tayo, consolidation of knowledge, strategies and skills, development of attitude, values, aptitudes, and interest. As you notice, there is always development of values. Hindi po yan nawawala. For the grade 11 and 12, consolidation of complex attitude and values as a result of a strong liberal education. So adequate preparation, for the world of work, entrepreneurship, middle-level skills, develop in higher education. Yan. So, yan po ang mga curriculum program, yung learner natin. Bibigyan natin kasi we wanted to develop their 21st century communication skills, education, and competitiveness. Number one is communication and literacies. We are able to teach them to speak, to face a crowd, to develop, to express himself. Critical thinking, to develop higher order thinking skills. Creativity and innovation, that they must be creative and innovative. Itong pinaka-importante, yung ma-develop yung ethical, moral, and spiritual values. Yan po. The national and global orientedness. Yan. So after that learner, it will lead to employment, or it will lead first to higher education or to entrepreneurship and middle level skills of development. Ito yung target natin. Ito yung gusto nating ma-develop sa ating mga learners. Okay, so these are the current co-curricular innovations included in the K-12 basic education program. We are using the thematic approach in kindergarten, domains, values education. O kung mapansin nyo, mayroon pa rin language and readiness for reading, writing, so language, literacy, and communication. Okay, so nababagay din po kayo bilang isang Filipino major. Okay. So for the mother tongue based and multilingual education, ang Filipino papasok na yan dito sa multilingual. Okay? Mother tongue taught as learning area and used as language of instruction from kindergarten to grade 3. Some of you will work in Manila, so you will discover that you will know that Filipino is their mother tongue. So mother tongue pa rin ang Filipino kung lumaki siyang Tagalog. Bridging or transition to Filipino and English as language of instruction introduced in grade 3. So it is starting in grade 3 and grade 4. That is the transitioning grade level. So the Madrasa curriculum or Alive, which is for Muslims, Muslim learners, yan pang Alive. Then strengthened technical vocational education, competency-based curriculum pa rin, specialization of technical skills in grade 11 and grade 12. That's why po in the senior high school, there are courses for TechVoc offered for grade 11 and grade 12. And we have the certification certified by the TESDA, which is what we called the INC2, INC3, and INC4. So as you notice po, sa pagdating natin dito sa elementary, yan, palagi ino-offer yung Filipino. Ano po? Then, pagdating sa secondary, we have now curriculum enhancement for junior high school up to grade 11 and 12 for the senior high school. So the K-12 program and the need to develop Philippine competitiveness according to the K-12 program will respond to the need of developing the country's competitiveness. The challenges of ASEAN 2015, particularly the opening up of ASEAN Economic Community by 2015, put much pressure to our country. Thus, there's a need to ensure that our graduates in basic education have skills and competencies that will allow them to be at par with the global standards. So yun. Dapat kaya ng ating mga estudyante na makipagsabayan hindi lang sa ating bansa kundi sa buong mundo. Okay? So yan po. We need to prepare our youth so that they will have an equal chance to be employed. A more open single economic community, ASEAN is expected in the very near future to openly hire people within the region that have the capacity to respond to our job challenges. Of course, we don't want our graduates to have a slim chance of being hired by big companies. Slim chance meaning less chance. Ano po? We also want them to have the ability to participate in knowledge and wealth creation both for themselves and the Philippines. So these are the issues and concerns: expanding spiral progression approach versus discipline-based approach in K-12. Yan. Competencies demanded of teachers for effective implementation. Role of the LGU. Yan. Ano ba yung gagampanan ng LGUs for this? Preparedness of the K-12 education program for the teachers. Technical education for TechVoc, na the alternative delivery modes in the K-12 implementation, transition period in the MTBLA progression program, mother tongue proficiency of teachers in the MTBLA program. Yung galing din ng teacher, kino-consider din po sa husay niya sa mother tongue. Kasi minsan po kahit even teachers, mayroong pagkakamali pa rin yan. Okay, the MTBML teacher training, what do teachers need to know to do their job well? Yan. Preparation of learning materials from K to 3. Until this time, ngayon naman po, dahil mayroon pong pandemic, is still always on the preparation of the learning materials. Literacy and information text indicates need for balance, utilization of adapted current learning materials for efficient use of resources. Yan, these are the issues. The kindergarten education and teacher education curriculum, the different domains, tailoring co-curricular activities and community involvement program to student and community needs. So ngayon, binabalance din po, it's not only, kung mapapansin nyo nga, yung Bicol University, dahil nga po wala po silang exam, so kailangan po mag-submit ang mga bata ng co-curricular activities that they joined para po maano din yung kanilang student needs to develop their skills. Assessment for and of learning based on standards. So that's why po assessment 1 and assessment 2 is being offered to you para matuto kayo ng paggawa ng assessment. The attitude of teachers towards K to 12. So sabi po, if education could be the only best option to secure the future of our youth, all of us here to support this option. So wag na po tayong magkontra, wag na po tayong magbigay ng negative impression to K to 12. Instead, let us embrace these changes. Let us embrace this option na makatulong tayo sa economy, not only with that, to the readiness of the children, especially in the world of work. Yeah. So with that, thank you very much for listening. Okay. So I hope you learned something with our discussion.